me see. Okay, everybody, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to go over the PSI. We have our lovely model, Brooklyn. She is getting ready to take her test. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over everything so that way she has on what she needs to do. She's going to be asking questions as we're doing this, and she's going to be doing the cosmetology practical I guess you could say almost like a mini board. So we're just going to go over it and make sure that everything is good. So the first thing she's going to do is going to be the pre-exam setup, and she has 10 minutes. The points that she can earn is to disinfect the work surfaces. Okay, here we are. Sorry. I am going to have a little bit of problems as far as like making sure that I have connection. So anyway, we're going to pretend that she is in a station. Right now, she does not have anywhere to put in her items. So the main thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just have her leave them inside the bag or put them on the side, just because we want to make sure that she understands that her main bag is going to be her trash. So the first thing that she's going to do is she's going to wipe down the area. She's going to pretend that there's a mirror, but of course there's no mirror. And then she's going to get everything ready. So again, this is going to be the Cosmetology Practical. Oh, let me get everything ready. Okay. Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and start the timing. You have 10 minutes to set up for the pre-exam setup. So what you're going to do is for the 10 minutes, you're going to go ahead, spray everything down. You're supposed to put everything inside the cubbies. You want to wipe down the mirror, the cubby on the top. You don't have to do the bottom. The main thing is that, and then there's going to be a chair in the back. So I would go ahead and wipe down the chair as well, even though you're not going to be using it. Okay, this is a time that you wouldn't set up your mannequin unless you're going to use it for the blood spill. But I wouldn't, because you're going to be doing the nail part. Since we don't have a manicure area here, you're going to do the nail part over here. Okay, all right, so let me go ahead and put the timer.
I'm just taking out of the bag. I'm just taking out just the first bag of
yes. So what I would do, because you want to use that as your trash can, what I would go ahead and do is go ahead and lay everything over there in the bottom. And just like if you were going to put it inside, and you want to put them in order, but not in order. But you don't want to be fumbling. So usually the way we pack it is we go backwards. So in other words, the first thing, of course, is going to be on the top. It's going to be your pre-setup. And then it's going to be from the last thing. So it would be the chemical down all the way into the manicure. And so that way, as you're putting them in, the last thing you're going to put is going to be for, not the manicure, I'm sorry, for the Monomer and Polymer. Okay? So, but for right now, since we don't have it packed that way, you're just going to go ahead and put them down. And so that way you could put this like your trash. And so that way you can have everything ready.
So everything starts to come out of the bag after they say, like, you can start setting up?
Yes. So,
pre-sanitation?
right. So they're going to say, welcome to PSI. Congratulations on passing your written exam. The proctor for this session will read the instructions. So they'll go through all that. And then they'll ask you, does anybody have any questions? They're not going to answer yes or no. They're going to ask you more. You can ask like, okay, where's the restroom? Where's that? But you can't ask them as far as like anything about the test. Okay. Once you do that, then they'll say the first section is your pre-exam setup and disinfecting. You have 10 minutes to unpack your general supplies and prepare you for the work area. You'll be informed when you have 5 minutes remaining. So what I'm going to do is with my watch, I'll go ahead and, I'll probably go ahead and, okay, let me see, do the 10 minutes. Okay, turn digital crown. I don't know what I did wrong. Okay, for my watch, I can't do it for some reason. Okay, well, I'll go through here. So you're going to have 10 minutes. Right now it's 12:45, so we'll start at 12:46. And 5 minutes, which will be 12:51. I will let you know you have 5 minutes remaining. Once you're done, you raise your hand. So as soon as you're done with whatever you need to do, you raise your hand, okay? So let's go ahead and start. Your first section is your pre-exam setup and disinfecting. You have 10 minutes to unpack your general supplies and prepare your work area. You'll be informed when you have 5 minutes remaining. You may begin. So it's 12:46. At 12:51, I will let you know when you have 5 minutes remaining. So as you can see, she is taking out her bag. It already has the label to it, just so y'all know. So what would have been the first thing you needed to do?
Sanitize.
So you would have held on to the bag,
Okay.
sanitize your hands.
Okay. Oh,
So,
my hands?
your hands,
Okay.
yes. Now remember, she's doing a practice run. This isn't really what she's doing, a practice run. So everything would have still been in your bag? Yeah, so let's do it again. So everything would have been in your bag. So you would have held the bag, just so you'll know. You would have held the bag, and then there you go. Spray your hands. There you go. Now you're going to set up. Now don't use too much. You're not going to have that much room. Right now we're just using a table. So yeah, kind of keep it to a small distance so that way
And then it's EPA.
then you would, yes, your EPA. So for this, you're going to pretend there is a mirror because of course there's no mirror here. You would have done, yeah, the mirror, then you would have done the chair. There would have been a chair behind you, so you would have done the chair. So because of that, you have it in your hand. What's going on with it? Is it dirty?
Cross-contamination.
Yes. So go ahead, hold it with your hand. Go ahead and put everything down. And so what you can do is you could go ahead and get the EPA. Get your EPA. Pretend you're spraying the cabinet over here. Yes. And then you clean that. And while you're still holding it, because a lot of people have questions as far as that, you're still holding it. There's nowhere to throw it. The only thing I would suggest, they have trash cans there. I would go and throw it in their trash can until your trash can is ready.
Okay.
So
So is it possible, like, just to have I saw a video that they got, like, a paper bag. It was tiny, but, like, just in the...
yeah, I would just put it in the trash can because you don't want to add more than what you have to. Okay, so go ahead. You can take it. So you're gonna go throw it in the trash. Here, just put it right here. Okay. So now you're gonna sanitize your hands again. Set up your station. So I would put everything over here on this side. There you go. Make sure you close that bag. And then you're going to set it. You're going to pretend there's a mirror back here, so you're going to set it back here. Or you could throw it in the trash once you get your trash ready. So sanitize your hands again. Because now what you're going to do is you're going to grab everything out of the bag and you're going to put everything into the cubby. So you're going to open up your bag. Pretend you're going to put everything in the cubby. So you're going to put it there. Yeah, for now. Your trash bag would have already been in there. And so once you take everything out, then you put your trash bag and that's going to be your trash. So from now on, you'll have your trash. Now, she hasn't done this in a while, so her test is coming up. So it's kind of like a review, but yet still going through it. I think it was for the styling. We'll check and see. Okay, so now you're going to put your trash bag, get it ready. Okay, we'll go back and we'll put them in. Just put them over here. because we're going to have to go back and fix your bags. Because we had somebody else look at them and kind of mess it up. Okay, so go ahead and get your trash bag ready. Make sure that it has trash showing. It should have trash already on there, and you can see it already has trash. So she's going to put that on the side of her. You're not going to have that, yeah. So put it on the side. Are you right or left-handed?
Right.
Okay, then I would put it on the other side of you. Okay, so what are you going to do next? Sanitize your hands. And then you're going to what?
What is the time?
Well, first, oh, yeah, I forgot. Oh, well, it's exactly, you got 5 minutes left. So what would you do next once you're done?
Yes, ma'am.
Raise your hand. Very good. Okay, so we would stop the timer here. How funny how it was exactly 5 minutes. All right, so we're going to go to the next one. The next one is a polymer and monomer and polymer over tip. You're not going to get it ready yet until I tell you to, just so you'll know. Okay, so the points that she can earn is set up the manicure table, sanitize, clean hands, prepare the nail for service, select and adhere the nail tip, trim the nail tip, blend the nail tip, apply monomer and polymer to the nail, and finish the nail surface. The points that can be deducted are properly dispose of waste material, ensure workstation and area remain sanitary, replace contaminated items, ensure containers remain closed when not in use, kit remain sanitary, and avoid cross-contamination. Now, the number one question, is your nail prep?
Yeah.
Okay, so your nail's prepped, so that's not a problem. Okay, so don't get it
I
yet.
want to check.
Okay, check and see if it's prepped, just to be in the safe side.
I think it is.
She's just checking to see if her nail's prep. And when we talk prep, we're talking about it's in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me show you how the nail is prepped. This is how the nail should be prepped. It should already have a nail, and actually, yeah. I usually suggest that people end up making this a little smaller. I think she already, did you use this as just to prep it not too long ago?
Yeah.
When you did
when I graduated.
Okay, so this is prep. Now, the only thing, like I said, I would suggest it being a little shorter, just so that way when it comes up to you fixing it, you won't have that much of a tip to work with, okay? All right, so just so y'all know. Right. All right, so as you can tell, her bag, it is labeled, so I'm going to go over it before she brings it out. This bag can actually go in the trash because you don't need it anymore, all right? So, the next section is monomer and polymer over tip service. Please apply the nail tip and monomer and polymer overlay on one nail. You have 32 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 16 minutes remaining. You may begin. So what's the first thing? I wouldn't keep your hands in your pocket neither. Okay, so what's the first thing you're going to do?
And then I have to disinfect every single time.
Yes. So she is going to go ahead and disinfect that one area. We're not in a nail area, so right now she's just using the top. So if you're in the nail area, of course, you're going to go to that nail area. So when she sanitizes that, what are you going to do next? Sanitize your hand again. Why?
Because I threw the trash.
Very good. Okay, you're going to set up your area right there. Remember, you're going to pretend like it's a nail area. And I told her just to use a limited amount of area just so that way it'll be easier. She's going to take everything out that is needed. From last time. Yeah, that's why we got to make sure we go through your bags. Once we're done with this, we'll go back and we make sure that everything is correct, okay? And this is what I do, people. I go back, I help them out, but we didn't have time to actually go through her bags before she did this, so it's kind of like going in between.
What about this
This is going to be like a pillow, like if it was, remember? So, or you would be sitting over there, so you could put it on your lap as well. So whatever you feel comfortable with it. So what are you gonna do? Well, I knew you threw that in the trash, but what do you do to it first?
Do I disinfect it?
No, take it out of the trash bag.
Close it.
Yes, always close it. Even though you're not gonna be using it, you're gonna close it. So, and now that you threw it away, now what you're gonna do? Very good. I forgot to say the time that she started was at 12:54. So it's 12:56 right now. So now you can begin. So she already set up the manicure table. She sanitized her hands. Now she's preparing the nail for service. And the way she's preparing it is she's actually shaping it. And she's going to be getting the top ready. There was another thing you needed to do before that. Do you remember?
This.
Yes, push back the cuticle. So I would push back the cuticle first and then go back and etch it up.
Okay.
So once you do that, okay, what did you just do?
Just goes in the trash?
Yes. Because you touched the trash, what happened?
Really?
Yes.
But I can set this down, right?
Huh?
This.
Yes. Yeah, you're fine because you didn't throw that yet. So I would, every time you throw something in the trash, now some people might say, oh, you're over sanitizing. You're not. You're just taking that extra precaution. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So go ahead. Now remember, you just want to etch it up just enough.
Okay.
So if you're going to use that again, leave it there.
Okay.
Okay? Okay. Because you already prepared it, so now you're going to select the nail tip. So the way you're going to select it is you're going to see if it fits right?
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, what are you going to do?
Trim the sides.
Yeah, trim the sides or file it. You want to make sure that you have everything done before you do it.
Can I buff this?
It's up to you. This is all on your court because your biggest thing is that you're trying to get it ready for that.
Okay, so I'm done with this.
Are you going to use it again?
I don't think so.
I think so.
Okay.
I think you are because remember, you're still going to go back and...
Yeah.
Okay, so now you're going to...
I don't have the primer and the dehydrator.
Where is it?
I don't think I got it. I did.
Yes. Okay, so she's missing the primer and dehydrator. We'll go back and find. So you're going to pretend for right now that you're going to do it.
Right?
That's the monomer. It would have been the little ones. They were in a little, yeah. So for right now, what you're going to do is you're going to pretend that so right now you would have done what first? The primer or the dehydrator first?
Dehydrator.
Very good. You would put the dehydrator first.
Dehydrator, then primer.
Yes.
And then right after that, the tip.
Yes. You would put the dehydrator first, put the tip, and then the,
Primer.
yes. This is why we're glad that we go through these bags. It might have been accidentally taken out, but you do need it. That's part of it. Okay, once you feel, it's probably in the beginning, it's not going to feel like it's holding, but you can hold it with your fingers. And as you are about to cut it, hold the tip with your finger on the edge, on the bottom, and then you can cut it. I wouldn't mess with it too much because then what'll end up happening is that it won't hold.
Yeah.
So hold it from the like at the seam area, and then you could cut it with the trimmers, with the nail clipper. And I prefer the little nail clippers, and the only reason why is because when you use the nail cutter, it does not hold correctly. The bottom of the nail kind of like makes it hard. And I wouldn't do your nail too long. I would just do it where it's just enough for you to show that there is a tip. Oh, you might have to hold it for a little bit.
Could you put more glue?
Yeah, you could put more glue. Sometimes, though, too much glue might not help it to hold. Okay, while you're doing that, you need to cover the glue. Always make sure that it stays covered. When's your test?
Wednesday.
Okay. We'll get it.
I want to get it over with Friday.
You owe me a big fat steak if you pass the first time.
The first time.
You are going to pass the first time. 6, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 6. She's used 6 minutes so far. She still has 10 minutes before I can let her know. So at 1:12, I will let her know that she has 16 minutes left.
So this part can go in the trash.
That goes to the trash.
And
If you don't need them anymore, throw them in the trash. So now that you put that, what would be the next thing that you would do?
primer.
Well, are you going to etch it?
Oh, no.
So you're going to etch it first. You want to make sure that you don't want to go all the way, but you do want to be able where you could still see the smiling face. That's why I give y'all the French one. So that way you could still see the smiling face, so it'll look like a natural nail, okay? So when you etch it, just be very careful. So you don't want to put too much pressure on it, because remember, this doesn't have any heat. This nail doesn't have any heat. So sometimes the glue doesn't adhere very well, but you want to make sure that you do not remove a lot of that smiling face. You want it to blend, but not where it like half of it looks white and half of it looks, clear. Yeah, that's why you got to be careful. Now remember, it's going to catch when you put the monomer and polymer, okay? Just be very careful and gentle. If you need to use the regular file, use the regular file. Once it'll catch. It just takes a little bit of. But this is what happens. So you always have to make sure that you're, prepared, definitely. And especially during state board. It seems like, I know when I took my barber, my whole roll of paper towel fell on the floor. And I was like, no! So I took off that one layer of paper towel, threw it in the trash, and just kind of like, okay. And then my hands were sticky with the sanitizer, so I have to constantly go and rinse them off. And you just got to prepare for the worst and make the best out of it. Okay. What did you just do?
What could I have done?
You should have had a little brush, too. Your little brush isn't there. It was a nail brush to clean off.
Stop. It was pink, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah, so we'll go through it. So that's why, because what would have happened right there? You would have gotten a point taken off for what? Yes. All right. So, so now what you're gonna do? Get everything ready. So whatever you don't need, throw it in the trash. Yeah. And we'll go back and we'll fix everything up. But for right now, let's just throw it in the trash.
This is it.
Okay. All right. So now that you threw in the trash, what do you need to do? When in doubt, sanitize. Okay. So now you're gonna go on. And you don't need a lot of the polymer, so that's good that she just put a little bit because you don't. It's just one nail. A lot of people think they need to fill it up, but no. If you need to add more, you add more. But besides that, and also your monomer and your polymer has to be in the manufacturer. You know, it does have to say orderless on there, so always make sure that it has orderless. The brush should have already. What do you need for your brush? Where are you gonna? You need to get something ready. There you go, because you don't want to use your towel. So what she's doing is she's getting a little piece so that way she could wipe off any excess liquid or polymer that's on there so she won't get it on her towel. You want to make sure that you dip your brush enough where it has enough of the liquid in there so that way at least you can make a couple of beads. If you need to add more, you can add more, but do what you need to do first. And you can make your bead by making it round, you can make it flat, whichever way, but always do that one bead and you can make sure that you have enough. You want it to still be a little wet, but not too wet, where you're going in there and you're catching it in the beginning or in the middle and the seams, but you don't have to do the dots anymore like it before. Before you used to put one dot, in the beginning, one in the middle, in the stress area, one by the cuticle, and then one definitely in the stress. Now they don't give you points for that, so you could do it any way you want. The biggest thing is you want to make sure that it is covered and that you're able to see that smoothness. You don't want to see any dips because they do go back and feel it, and we want to make sure that it is done correctly. So a little while ago, I saw you touch your brush. Do not touch your brush. If you need to touch your brush, do it with the paper towel. So now she knows that she needs a little bit more primer. So when she gets ready to go to state, she knows that, not primer, monomer. So that way she knows that she needs to add a little bit more. And like I said, there isn't a wrong or right way when it comes up to putting your polymer on the nail. The only thing is that you want to make sure that it's nice and smooth and that it's not on the cuticle. You want it to be nice and flowy. That way when it comes up to you buffing it, you don't have too much to buff. So at this time, if you feel like it's enough, you're going to let it sit on the side, start cleaning up your area. So you would clean your brush. If you need to dip it back on acetone, in the monomer, you can. So it just depends. So that way you can clean it. And that's the best way to clean your brushes is with the monomer instead of acetone. At least that's how I feel. Everybody's different, but I've always showed it to do it that way. And whatever you don't need after this is what you want to make sure. I would keep your buffers, yeah. Now, remember, you have a little bit of that monomer inside, so what are you going to do with that monomer? How did I show you how to get rid of the monomer? if there's too much liquid left. The paper towel. So get a paper towel, stick it in there, and wipe it. So what we'll do is when you're ready for that part, we'll put some extra paper towels in there, so that way when it comes up to that, you have it clean, and then that goes into the trash. And this way you make sure that everything, you don't have anything that's left behind that's gonna, and you can leave it in there like that. Okay, you have 16 minutes left, so this is a good time to stop. I mean, not stop, but you know, your 16-minute mark is already at where your nail is done. Okay, so from here, you're letting it dry. There should be a little lamp that they're gonna have so you can pick up the nail and you can use that lamp to kind of warm it up a little bit, but it is gonna be sticky. So don't get discouraged, you know, that it's sticky. And so from here, what you're gonna do is, do you have an orange wood stick left? No? Okay, no, that's fine. So get your nail, and what you're gonna do is usually you're gonna feel and see if it's still sticky. If it is sticky, then, you know, does it still feel sticky? It might be because it's a little cool in here. But if you feel that it's good enough, you could go ahead and start buffing it or filing it. Don't blow on it.
It's still pretty sticky.
Okay, so you're gonna pretend, so what you could do is you could pretend that you're holding it where the lamp is. And yeah, and so we're just practicing right now. So, I mean, practice-wise, you could go ahead and start buffing it off, but the only thing is, what are you gonna see as you buff it? The stickiness, and that's fine. I would just be, again, careful because you don't want it all to pop off just in case. And you want to do the least amount of buffing, and you still want to feel it. So you could even go with that purple one. The purple one has a heavier grit on it, or you could go with the file, whatever. But I would leave that orange one at the end because the orange one is more of a finer, and that way you can really make sure that it's giving you that little smoothness. Get it closer so they could see what it looks like as far as like the. Yeah, see how that comes off? So just make sure that you take all that off.
So I could leave them.
You could go back over there.
I can, like,
Yeah.
Get it?
Yeah. So, you know, and that's the thing is it's still going to be there. You just want to make sure that you're just not taking off all the stickiness, but you want to make sure that it's nice and smooth. So right in here, I would feel it to see if there's any bumps on the top. If there's no bumps, then go with the orange one. And some people, we tell them to leave the file, you know, that they could use the regular file and then use a regular file, then the purple, then the orange, and then there would have been a shiny one, and I think you put it back in there. But I'm going to give you another one because those shiny blocks actually have numbers. So I'll give you another one of one that doesn't have numbers because we don't want anything to have any numbers showing you do this first, second, third, fourth, okay? Because we don't want it to be deducted on you. Okay, so does it feel? Okay. So what are you going to do next? After everything looks good, what's the last thing you do?
I can put base oil.
Up there. Yes, thank you. Okay, so you're going to put the cuticle oil, and you just need a little dot. You don't need nothing. Close it up. Don't throw it in the trash. You could leave it there, so that way you don't have to mess with the trash again. Okay, and if you're done, what are you going to do?
Raise my hand, right?
You can raise your hand, but I would go ahead and clean up all that area and just leave the nail out. So go ahead, yes, put it there. Go ahead and get rid of your towel, get rid of the cuticle oil, and you're going to clean up that area because you got plenty of time. Oh, do your EPA first, and then that way you could do that last. See See, that would have happened. That happened to me, and then the whole row, you would have had to take off that little part. And I would advise not to wear your J. Mabry jewelry. Okay, so you could wear a ring, but I would not wear, you could wear a watch. You could wear a watch, but I would not wear that. Okay, now what are you going to do? Okay, if y'all notice, her finger fell. But if it would have been a human, of course, the only thing you could do is just sanitize it. No? Do you EPA hands? So I would go ahead. I would go ahead and EPA it just to be in the safe side. Not an EPA it. Sanitize it. Why you get me confused? You got to pretend that it's a human. That way you could pretend that if the person fell on the floor. So I would go ahead and sanitize it. Ay. Okay. And then what are you going to do? Now raise your hand. Very good. So you actually have, it's 1:16. You started at 12:56. So that was 56. So that was 20 minutes. So that was 12 minutes less, which is good. And don't rush yourself. You don't have to rush yourself. So you're not competing. The only thing you're competing against is the time. You're not competing against anybody else. Okay? So then the examiner would come, look at the nail. Let me see the nail. The examiner would come, see the nail. They would probably go ahead, feel it. And if you could see, she actually did a real good job right in there. You don't see no bumps or dents. So, it's real good. It's possible. So at least to me it is. Now, I've never been a proctor or anything like that, but she did real good. All right, so go ahead and put that up. Okay, so the next thing that you're going to do, I'll help you. Yeah. So the next thing we would do is we would do the blood exposure incident. So now it would say, candidates, please stop. So they would stop with everything. It says the next section is your blood exposure incident service. Please perform procedures for a blood exposure incident. You have 12 minutes to complete this section. You'll be informed when you have 6 minutes remaining. So these are I'm going to tell you which ones you can earn and which ones you can not earn, okay? But they're not going to tell you that. All they're going to do is just say you may begin. So it's up to you. So the 6 that you can earn is wear your gloves, apply pressure to the simulated cut, clean simulated cut, bandage simulated cut, properly dispose of the used materials, and sanitize your hands at the end. The ones that they can take away is properly dispose of waste materials, ensure workstation area remains sanitary, replace contaminated items, ensure container remains closed when not in use, kit remains sanitary, and avoid cross-contamination. So, like I said, you have 12 minutes, so it's 1:18, so you may begin. I will tell you when you have 6 minutes remaining. So as you can see, it's labeled. Yep.
Do I need a towel for this?
You don't need a towel. What do you need? You do need something. So what do you want to put? A paper towel. So you don't need a towel. Just a paper towel is good enough. That's why I always make people take the roll of paper towels, because that way you don't have so many towels in there. So you take everything out first. And we'll replenish the stuff back once we're done. You only need one of those, so you can put the other one back. Okay, so you should have had 2 bags in there. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we'll fix it. That's going to be your blood exposure. Do you have the blood exposure the little?
I think the extra baggie that I got. I would use one of those. I think that was the extra baggie. And then she took that out.
Does that have though, does it say, does it have the
This one just says
biohazard? Okay, yeah, so here. So let's take this out. Wow. Okay, go, you're gonna put that one in there. Because remember, it needs 2 bags. Those wipies, take them out and put them in the other bag. Because that should just be for, yes, that should just be there. Okay, so that's gonna be your double bag. So open up your double bag, open up the other one, and that way it stays in there. So as you're preparing stuff, you can put it in there and you can put it on the side.
I can leave this on the
Yes. And I would turn it where they could see the biohazard. There you go. And then get your, yeah. So where are you going to put your Band-Aid on? And then there's one more thing that you're lacking. And I bet you they took it out. They sure did. You can use the wipes, but the purpose of was it not the oh my gosh. You were needing an antiseptic. I'll get you one. So for right now, you're gonna use the wipes as an antiseptic. Because we gotta make sure it's labeled this as antiseptic. Okay? So
It can go in the trash.
you can put it in the trash.
So it can't be like one or the other?
No.
It has to be both.
It would be just one or the other, but this ain't antiseptic. Those were just wipes. That way, because it's not on there, it says moist wipes antibacterial, but so you just throw something in the trash. So yes, make sure. Okay, first thing you're gonna do is what?
Stop the service.
Stop the service and
Put gloves on.
yes. Always put your gloves on. I don't know if this stops. We gotta check and see if this stops at 30 minutes. I gotta check and see. Okay, now what are you gonna do?
Apply pressure on the wound.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna apply pressure, a little bit of pressure. So where are you gonna put, well, you can apply pressure, you don't have to hold both. So now that you apply pressure, you can take off and you can put it in the biohazard. Because that has blood, right? Okay, so now you're gonna open that.
Do I have to close this?
I would close it to be in the safe side, okay?
And then I can open this.
Yes. Trash goes where? Not in the trash. I would put it all in there. I wouldn't put anything in the trash. I would put anything that has to do with the blood in there. So there's a little piece right here. Yep. Okay. Now you're gonna, there you go. Since that's an extra one, even though you didn't use it, I would still put it in the trash. Just so that way they know that you did use it, okay? And the reason we used a finger is because that way they don't have to, you could use the mannequin, you could do it whatever you want, but I usually suggest for them to use the finger because it doesn't take up much room. But like I said, anybody, all the teachers, they do it differently, so it just depends. Okay, so once you put it there, you're gonna do double zipper. There's 2 zippers. Okay, then you go ahead and sanitize, and then you're gonna do what else? To be in the safe side.
Take this off.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can do this one.
Yes.
And then do I have to sanitize again?
Yeah, but don't use that same one. Use a different one. Sorry, I was supposed to tell you you had 6 minutes left. But you're still in good timing. There you go. And then they're going to come and they're going to check to make sure. So you could go ahead and get the finger and you can put it in the trash. Okay. So once they go by you and they already, looked at you, yes, whatever, go ahead and grab whatever it is and throw it in the trash. Okay. You don't have to wait for them to say, stop everybody, unless there's still people going. But I would just go ahead as soon as they see it, just put it in the trash. Okay. All right. So the next thing is going to be the eyelash strip. And actually you need to put an eyelash on the mannequin. So you're going to go ahead and get her. And let's put an eyelash on her because she was not prepped for this. This isn't the mannequin that she's taking. So she's just going to put one eyelash on. Do you have an eyelash? Okay. So she's just going to prep her. I usually tell them this isn't the mannequin she's taking, but I usually tell them to go ahead and put 2 of the natural eyelashes, but she's just going to do one because she's only going to do one of them.
So this mannequin needs to come prepped?
Yes. And for right now, you don't have to put glue. You could go ahead and just put it on like that. But usually I have everybody put super glue on it so that way it'll hold. But just for now, you're just going to just do it regularly because she's not your mannequin. You're borrowing her. Okay? So go ahead and put that back up because go ahead and put it back in the... So let's go ahead and bring her over here so that way they can see what her eyelash would be. So in case, and this is just in case, so this is what the eyelash is going to look like. You're going to make sure that it looks just as natural as can be. And usually, if you look, you can see that the eyelash is underneath. Some people will put tape and then they do the eyelash. I prefer them to do it this way. And actually, I believe you have it backwards. I think this one goes the other way. But it's okay. For now, it's okay because it's just you see how it's shorter here and longer here? So it actually goes on that eye. But it's okay. Should have left it. It was fine.
Ripped it off.
Yes, poor girl. She's like, my eyelashes. Okay, she looks sleepy there. All right, so, like I said, I make them do both just because that way they're already ready. So in this case, what she's going to do is she's going to go ahead and get everything ready. Her mannequin she'll be having her mannequin already on the side. Are you going to take a tripod?
I don't have a tripod.
I'll lend you one for $50. I just need it back. All right, remind me when we could get one. All right, so let's go ahead, get ready. So the next section is your eyelash strip application. Please apply 1 eyelash strip. You have 14 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 7 minutes remaining. So we're going to wait till it's 1:30. Once it's 1:30, I will let her know to begin. So these are the points that she can earn. Sanitize hands before, prepare the mannequin for service, prepare the strip lash, and apply the strip lash. The 7 criteria that she will not earn is probably dispose of the waste materials, ensure workstation area remains sanitary, ensure draping is maintained throughout the service, replace contaminated items, ensure container remains closed when not in use, kit remains sanitary, and avoid cross-contamination. So we're going to go ahead and start. It is 1:29. You got, wait, hold on. Let me wait. Okay, now you may begin. So she has, I will let her know when she has 7 minutes remaining. So I will let her know when it's 1:37.
Do I need to do this? Yeah.
Every time. So what's going to be the first thing that you're going to do? Because remember, you don't have a towel to put everything on. So you're going to get a paper towel. Because those towels are for, yes. So what kind of draping is required?
Towel drip towel.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what did you do with the trash bag? Yes, thank you. Oh, there it goes. Okay, go ahead. So she's preparing the mannequin for right now. Now, some people start with the hair. I personally, you can do the hair, but I would be careful. I would go ahead and drape her first and then do the hair, just because you want to make sure that they know that you're going to drape her. But there's no right or wrong way, because it says prepare the mannequin for service. So you could drape her or you could do the hair first. So how do you drape? Okay. I would have already had the cape out already, but it's okay. Just telling you my personal opinion. And what I love about my capes from other people's capes is that you do not need a T-pen. It actually has where you can tie it. And so,
What happens when stuff like that happens?
well, then you gotta pick it up and sanitize your hands. There you go. And it'll happen. Believe me.
So I have to sanitize that bottle for fun.
And those are real lightweight, so and you are going to have your mannequin facing you, so it'll make a huge difference. It just depends. I would put her as close as you can. I know that right now we're opposite. I would have had her turn the other way because she is right-handed. So, but due to videotaping, make it long waist. Go in an angle. Angle. There you go. Now try doing it that way. That might give it a little bit more. There you go. Okay, so what's going to be the first thing? Okay, once you finish with that, what are you going to do?
Because of her hair.
Yes, because you touched your hair. Okay, so you are missing a lot. Where's your eyelash curler? Okay, so you would have had the eyelash curler. You need a spoolie. Wow. Okay. Yeah, there was a lot of things taken out. Okay, so the first thing you would have done is you would have done the eyelash curler. So you're going to pretend.
The natural lashes?
Yes. So you would do the eyelash, and then you would go with the spoolie to make sure. And then with the tweezers, you would have gotten the eyelash, so that way you could measure it. So once you measure it, and then you're also needing the scissors, because you would have cut it. So you're going to pretend that you're measuring it right now. Okay, once you pretend that you measure, you would have bring it back over here, so that way you could cut the sides. Make sure, so you would have cut. Okay, now once it's cut, you're going to go back, make sure that it's measured correctly. Hold it with the tweezers. Once it fits in, now you're going to go ahead and put glue. But in this case, we're not going to put glue, because we're going to pretend you're putting glue. Okay. We're going to change out your glue too. Okay. Now you're going to apply it. You know what? Why don't you turn her this way? So that way we can see as you're doing it. There you go. And then once you have it, you would have gone back with your spoolie, go through, make sure the sides, that there's no gap in between the sides. You want to make sure that everything looks good. And if it looks good, let's bring her over here once you're done so that way I can see how the sides look. And this is what I mean by the sides. So we would have had her, at least me, the way I check them is I would check the eye to see, bring her down some. And I would check to see if she has any gaps. So as you can tell, there is no gap at all in here. So that's very, okay. So once you're done, then you would go ahead and, well, you could go back over there. Okay, you have 7 minutes remaining. So you would go and continue. So remember, you would have gone with your spoolie to make sure everything is good. You're going to leave it on. And so we're going to go back and we're going to check her bag. Again, every teacher is different. I teach to make sure that it does have the eyelash curler and that they do have a spoolie and they do have the scissors, because you have to follow what's on the Milady book. So she had somebody who looked at her items before and took out a lot of things. So we're going to go back and just fix everything up. All right, so go ahead and once you're done, what are you going to do? Mm-hmm. Nope. You're going to keep her.
Oh, because the facial mask.
Yes.
And drapes.
Yes. Yeah, so you don't take off the draping, you don't take off the hair. The only thing you are missing is you need a processing cap. So remind me to get you have it? Yeah. Okay, so the processing cap would have been on there as well.
For the eyelash?
Yes, it would have been from the beginning. I didn't know if you had it or not. Okay. So that way everything is taken care of. Yeah. There's a piece of hair over here on this side. Remember, it's not glued, so, but over there you'll have it glued. Okay. So now she has her. One more thing you need to do. I know you just did your hands, but what would have been another thing?
This way.
Yeah. So don't worry about it, because you already, I don't want you to reuse another paper towel. Okay, but over there you would have done it. Your best thing to do is EPA first, and then the last thing to sanitize her hands. Okay. All right. So she had plenty of time still left. She still had 5 minutes left. So let's go ahead and go to the next thing. The next section is your facial service. Please perform a basic facial and demonstration massage manipulation. You have 17 minutes to complete this section. You'll be informed when you have 9 minutes remaining. So the first 11 points that she can earn is sanitize her hands, remove eye makeup and lipstick, cleanse face, remove cleansing cream, apply massage cream, demonstrate effleurage, petrissage, depotement, remove massage product, apply astringent, refresher, or toner, and apply moisturizer. The 7 items that would be taken off is properly dispose of waste material, ensure workstation remains sanitary, ensure head draping is maintained throughout the service, replace contaminated items, ensure container remains closed when not in use, kit remains sanitary, and avoid cross-contamination. I will be going through it with her, so if you hear me talking of the different things, I know that there were some items that were taken out from her bag, so we're going to be putting it back in as she's needing it. So it is 1:41. She has 17 minutes, so her ending part would be at 1:58. So I will let you know when you have 9 minutes remaining, so go ahead and start. You want to get everything ready for your facial. First get your towel first. Okay. We got to go back and do some of that.
I guess the towels that were taken out.
Yeah. That's fine, because you don't need a towel for that one. You just need, yes.
I can set this down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it would have been in your bag. So see, all that belonged in there too. Okay, for now, just use them and then we'll replace them. I got spatulas at the house. Okay, so you want to get her closer and face her facing me, because remember, she's not going to be facing you anymore. There you go. Everybody's different. Like I said, you can actually leave the eyelash on. You can take it off, but I prefer them leaving it on so that way they can prefer that. I mean, that way it'll be like if it's a client. So go ahead and begin. Now this mannequin, when you take her, she's gonna have what on her face?
Lipstick and eyeshadow. Right?
Yes. So that's the only thing you got to take off with your eye makeup remover is just those 3 items. You don't have to do anything else. Just the lipstick, the eyeshadow. You might keep the thing by closer to you so you don't have to constantly go over. There you go. Mm-hmm. Okay, once you do that, what's next?
Cleanser.
Mm-hmm. So go ahead and do the cleansing. And you don't need a lot. You just need a little bit, because remember, it's a mannequin. So what happens with the mannequin? It doesn't absorb it.
So this and this will on the trash.
Mm-hmm.
And how would I go about sanitizing it?
Yeah, just spray it. Or you could just close it and leave it there, whatever you want to do. And remember, it's cleansing, so you're not going to do any massaging. All you're doing is just cleansing the face. So you're going to put it all over the face. You just want to make sure that you put everything on the face, the nose, and around the eyes. You could tilt her back. No. You would have done her neck. You would have.
Oh.
It's okay.
I don't think she can.
Yeah, you would have done it on the bottom.
Oh.
That's okay. I'll teach you on the other one.
Okay, now I can wipe this off.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what's next?
Now it's the massage.
What are the 3 things you have to show? What kind of massaging?
Massage, petrissage, and squat.
Mm-hmm. You can put it all over the face first before you do the massages. Let me know when you're going to start doing the massages so that way I know.
Okay, no.
Yeah? Okay, so which one are you going to do first?
The FR.
Very good. And you want to take your time. You don't want to rush it because you want them to make sure that they see you. So every time, you know, that you're doing it, you want to make sure that they look at them and see if they're watching you because you want them to make sure.
Okay, now the exercise.
Okay. Which one's that one? Mm-hmm. And some people are different. Some people go around. Some people will go, you know, like this, pinching the cheeks, and then go around on the top. So whatever you're comfortable with.
And now it's a moment.
Yes. The tapping. Okay. So what do you do next?
Wipe that off.
Mm-hmm. Okay, from here. Mm-mm.
The toner.
And how are you going to put the toner? Yes. See, that way it's not direct. Mm-hmm. So that way it's not directly to her face.
Can I do that?
Mm-hmm. Because you're making sure. You just need one. And then do the other side. There you go.
Trash.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I see something on your thing that you left behind. Yes. So you got to make sure that whatever you used, that it goes into the trash.
Now it's the moisturizer.
Do you take off the moisturizer? Okay. And that definitely don't put too much because you're going to leave it on.
So the stuff that I haven't used, like
Throw it away. Because you did the eye makeup remover in the beginning. What did I say to do first? Make it easier on yourself. Brooklyn. Okay, and once we do the waxing, we're going to stop here. And so that way we'll do the other one in a little bit, okay? So the next one would be the waxing. Actually, it's 1:51 and you had until 1:57, so you still have 6 minutes left. All right, so the next one is going to be the waxing. The next section is waxing service using soft wax. Please apply assimilated wax on one eyebrow. You have 14 minutes to complete this section. You'll be informed when you have 7 minutes remaining. The 6 points that you can earn is wear gloves, prepare area for one eyebrow service, demonstrate proper application of wax, demonstrate proper application for fabric strip, demonstrate proper removal of wax, and apply a post-wax product. Now remember, I told you there was going to be 2. So you're going to do one before the cleaning and then one after. Okay, so you should have had 2 bottles plus the wax. We'll go back and check. Okay. And then the 7 points that can be taken off: properly dispose of waste material, ensure workstation area remains sanitary, ensure head draping is maintained throughout the service, replace contaminated items, ensure container remains closed when not in use, kit remains sanitary, and avoid cross-contamination. It's 1:52, so you have 14 minutes, so you have till 2:06. You may begin.
Sanitize.
We're almost done. Miss Munoz, we're almost done on this. Okay, first thing you're gonna do what? Yes. I think you have them inside out. Oh, okay.
I'll strip them.
And torn. Yeah, we'll get you another pair. Oh my God. Did you leave the bag in your car?
Yeah.
Please do not leave your bags in the car. This is what will happen to your clothes. It is hot in Texas. Okay.
Okay.
So you're going to prepare the eye first.
Cleansing product.
Yes.
If I toss that in.
That's your best thing is to leave it in here. Okay. So that way you don't have to constantly going back and so you're going to do, yes, very good. She actually is doing it on the correct eye. Like I said, if you're left-handed, do it on the left-hand side. If you're right-handed, do it on the right-hand side just to make it easier on you. So your eyelash would go opposite. I mean, you could do the same as the eyelash, but whatever makes it easier for you. Okay, so now she's going to go ahead and do the wax. Do not get it from the lid. I was reading your mind. You don't need a lot, so no. That stays on there. Remember, it's
Wax.
yes, it's wax. You could leave it there on the top as long as it's closed. So you're gonna put it on one area of the eyebrow. You're gonna do the top or the bottom? Top. Okay. So she's putting it on the top. Put it on just like if it's just a regular wax. If it all doesn't come, that's fine.
Can I take this off?
No, not with your finger. I would just leave it like that. No, I would have thrown it away, the little extra part. Because it doesn't have to be, you're only doing one little area. It's not like you're doing the whole thing. You just want to show that you're doing it. Okay? Okay? Even though you have gloves, you still got to sanitize. So one thing you got to do is, even though you're doing that, when you're ready to pull, what do you want to do? You want to taunt. You want to be able to, yes. There you go. That's fine. Even though there's wax left behind, that's fine, because what are you going to clean it with? Yes. Okay.
You just have to do one top.
Just it? Just the top?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
this
not
is,
bad, though.
yeah. So here, you're going to get everything, get your gloves off, put it inside that, and then you can roll everything up and throw it. So this time, this is the ending part of this area where you don't need the draping anymore. So you want to, hold on, before you sanitize your hands, you want to go ahead and take off all her drape, because you don't need it anymore.
And this can be in
Yes. Actually, you have 7 minutes remaining. So throw it all in the trash. Headgear and all. Just pull it off. Okay, now you can sanitize your hands.
So you pay for extra.
Yes. Now this is going to be part 1 of 2, because we got to go back and fix her other bags. Make sure everything is correct. We got to make sure her towels are clean and everything. So tomorrow we're going to do the other part of it. So that way we can make sure that her first bags are right. All right. Well, thank you everybody. And we'll be back tomorrow for part 2. Finish.